In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all the reasons why you can't seem to find your correct foundation shade and how you can be able to find your correct foundation shade so that if you want to buy a new foundation, you won't make the mistake of buying the wrong shade, even if you've never bought a foundation before. So let's get into it. Now, the first reason why you purchase the wrong foundation shade is because you purchase your foundation shade through the pictures that you see online or the videos that you see of your favorite influencer that has a skin shade that is similar to yours. Why? Why would you do that? The pictures that you see online are there to give you an idea of the range of shades that they have so that you can know if your shade is available. Because there are a lot of factors that go into pictures and videos, lighting, editing, and all of that. So it can actually tamper with the actual shade of that person. And then you now buy it and then it becomes lighter or darker than your skin tone. Number two, you don't know the basics of foundation matching. Now, there are only two basics. It's literally that simple. It's just two. You just need to know your skin tone and your undertone. That's all you need to know. It's not technical at all. Now, your skin tone is literally as simple as it sounds. Are you fair? Are you medium? Are you dark skinned? That's literally it. So if you're fair skinned, you want to know what particular, because it's kind of divided into three, and I'll put up a chart that's going to show you the other divisions of the skin tones that we have. They are as many as possible, to be honest. You can have up to 50 skin shades or skin tones, and they're all very different. So you need to know your particular skin tone, or at least something similar to your skin tone. So the first thing to actually know is the simpler one. Are you fair skinned or light skinned? Are you medium, tan, or are you dark skinned? Now, after you've determined your skin tone range or your skin tone in particular, you want to know your undertone. And undertone, first of all, is basically the tone that is beneath your skin. So your skin tone is the one that you see outside. Now, the undertone is what is shining through underneath your skin, like beneath your skin. So it would cause you to have some kind of tinge to your skin. Now, to know your undertone, we have only three to four undertones. The first undertone is the warm undertone. Second one, the cool undertone. Third one, neutral. And the fourth one, undertone. I'm going to try to describe undertones as easily as possible. Now, the first undertone, which is the warm undertone, has some kind of yellow tinge to the skin. Like your skin tends to be a bit yellower than someone that has a cooler or a neutral skin tone. If you have a cool skin tone, on the other hand, you notice that your skin tends to have a purple or bluish tinge to it. While if you have a neutral undertone, your skin tone is your skin tone basically. So like it's not yellowish, it's not pinkish or bluish, it's just that. Now, an olive undertone, on the other hand, has some kind of greenish tinge to it. Now, I'm going to tell you three basic ways that you can actually find out your undertone. The first method is something that you can actually do right now. I want you to look at the color of the veins on your wrist. Look at the color of the veins on your wrist. So if they look green, you have a warm undertone. If they look purplish or bluish, you have a cool undertone. And if you can't determine whether they look greenish or purplish or bluish, then you have a neutral undertone. So I want you to look at it now, and even if you can't exactly place it, try to ask somebody else to know what color you have, and that will help you determine your undertone. The next method to do this is by standing close to a white background. Now, you stand close to a white background. Remember all the tinges and tints I talked about earlier. You would notice that you either have a yellowish tint to your skin or a bluish or pinkish for someone with a cooler undertone, but you have a greenish tint to your skin for someone with an olive undertone, or you don't exactly have any tints to your skin. Your skin tone just remains normal to have a neutral undertone. Now, the third method you can use to identify your undertone is jewelry. So what type of jewelry do you wear? Do you gravitate more towards gold jewelry or silver jewelry? So if you gravitate more towards gold jewelry, then obviously you're of a warm undertone. You're of a warm undertone. You have a warm undertone. If you gravitate more towards silver jewelry, you have a cool undertone. If you gravitate more towards jewels or stones, you have an olive undertone. And if you feel like you can actually rock any of this jewelry without any problem, then you have a neutral undertone. And that's just the basics of the basics. Now, the next phase is very simple, but it's something that a lot of us tend to forget or actually not do because we're too nervous to do it, especially if we're buying foundations for the first time. And I'm speaking specifically to my Nigerian audience right now. Test your foundation before buying it. Test your foundation before buying it. Like, no matter what the case is, especially if you've never tried that brand before, or if it is your first time buying foundation ever in your life, make sure you test your foundation before buying it. I know that in Nigeria, most of the beauty stores don't really have testers, but you need to test your foundation, especially if it's the first time of you buying that foundation. You just need to test it. So you have to go to another beauty store that has a tester for you, for that particular brand or brands, and that those particular shades, the shades that you would like to test out, because you have to compare foundations and know the particular one that is closer to your skin tone, or that is your exact skin tone, to be able to purchase that one. Now that brings me to my next point. Brands might not exactly have your particular skin shade, and that's just it. Some brands actually come out with foundation shades and the shade ranges about 7 to 10 out of, like, there are literally over 40 shades of skin, 40 skin shades right now in the world. 40 might even be an understatement of the century, and brands come out with only 10. We're not even considering the undertone in this particular aspect. We're just considering the skin tone range, and we're talking about only 10 shades. So you need to have that in mind when you're going for a particular brand. You need to know that this brand might not actually have your exact skin shade. So that's why you have to try multiple skin shades, multiple brands from that store to be able to gauge which one is actually closer to your skin and which one is your exact skin shade. And that also brings me to my next point. You don't know how to test your foundation. You can't say, okay, you want to test your foundation, and then you just take the foundation and just test it without any good lighting or without a mirror even. You just test it. How? Like, you need to know how to test your foundation, and you need to know that you need a good lighting source. The best one is natural light, and you need a mirror, a big one, and that is possible to be able to see the different shades on your skin and compare them against each other. Now, the next reason why you buy the wrong foundation shade is simply because you don't know where to test your foundation. You don't know where to test your foundation. So please tell me why you buy a foundation and you're testing the foundation at the back of your hand. If you do this, I'm breaking your tape right now, because why would you buy a foundation and test? Is this where you're going to get your foundation? You need to test it in the areas where you're going to actually wear it. So you're going to wear it on your face, so you have to test it on your face. And now you're trying to match the rest of your skin, so you have to test it around the outer part of your cheek towards your jawline, so that you can be able to compare it to your neck and your chest and decide best which one is closer to your skin tone, because that area is going to give you a way to actually measure the one that's best for you. Now, another thing to note is that you can test this with a brush or with your hand, but don't blend yet. Put it as a streak on your face, and then if you don't think that particular shade is corresponding with your skin or is your exact skin shade, then you take another shade. Don't blend that one yet, because if you blend that one out, you won't really be able to compare the new one with the one that you've applied before. So you want to apply that one to your skin, and then apply more if possible, till you have a lot to actually compare. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this particular shade that I feel like is the closest shade to my skin tone, and I'm going to start to blend it here. You could use your hand for this, just blend that. And as you can see, it literally just disappeared into my skin. I know this is the scariest part of buying a foundation. Shade matching, I know, is the scariest part, but you have to remember that it is your money you're spending. And if you don't shade match correctly, you're going to come back with a foundation that is not your skin shade, and then you're going to have problems upon problems upon problems, because you start to try to fix up, patch up, and all of that. So even if the sales rep that's in charge of helping you to match your foundation is rushing you, be patient. Tell the person to be patient. You to be patient and try to match as many in your skin tone range. Now, what I would not advise you to do, I know fully well that this is not my foundation shade, and then I start going to shade match this to my skin. There is no need to match this exact foundation shade to your skin. You need to go with shades that are closest to your skin to start matching them, because the whole point of shade matching is to confirm that that particular foundation is a skin shade. Okay. Now, another thing to note is that you cannot do it by yourself. Honestly, the best way to actually get your exact skin shade is to have your own opinion, and also to ask for the opinions of others, as many people as possible, especially if you can ask for an expert opinion, because it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of trial and error to be able to eventually know your particular skin shade and how to identify when something is your exact skin shade. So it's very much easier to have an opinion from other people, from their perspective, from an expert, from his or her perspective, and from you yourself. And lastly, I'm actually putting this as the last reason why you buy the wrong foundation shade, because it's not actually a reason. It's actually kind of like a tip. And this is not trying to encourage you to go ahead and buy a foundation shade that's lighter than your skin tone or darker than your skin tone. It's telling you that if eventually you actually have to buy that as a last resort, it's okay to buy a foundation shade that is one shade darker than your skin tone. Anything more than one shade is a problem, because how do you fix that? And I can actually show you how to fix that. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be aware of that video when it eventually drops. Now, a little beginner advice. I know you might be nervous, especially of the whole process of actually picking a foundation shade and the pressure to pick the right foundation shade. But honestly, at some point in your life, you can actually flop at it. You can actually make the mistake of choosing the wrong foundation shade. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal in the sense that you can actually go back and buy a new foundation shade if you have the money to do that. But with all these tips that I've given, if you actually follow through with them, then you'll be able to choose a foundation shade, or a foundation shade that is very, very, very close to your skin shade. And honestly, as long as you follow these rules and test your foundation correctly, having the right foundation shade match would be the least of your problems, because there are other problems that can actually occur with your foundation. And that's why I made this video here specifically for you. So make sure you check it out so that you can be able to know how to prevent your foundation from looking cakey, patchy, separating, or cakey. If you found this video helpful, you know what to do. Hit the like button, turn on the what's going on? Give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.